Yo, what's good? Top of the top, episode 226, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And did just an episode, saw some topics you may want to hear about. Salute to you as well. Podcast available on all podcast streaming platforms. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, leave comments, reviews. Put your people on. All greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, a safe weekend. I'm wishing you the best this upcoming week as well. A lot to talk about this week in college football and music, so I'm going to jump right on into it. First, starting off with my guys, Ohio State Buckeyes. We got the victory over Western Kentucky over the weekend, 63-10. Not much for me to really talk about with that game. We had a dominant first half. We didn't make the game more entertaining than it had to be. Kyle McCord, 19 for 23, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. We got our running backs going. Like I said last week, that was my main focus really for this week before our big game against Notre Dame. Trevion Henderson, 13 carries, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chip, 5 carries, 56 yards with a touchdown as well. Maya Williams got some touches. Xavier Johnson got some touches as well. I would love to see this upcoming week somebody break for like 120, 125, but we'll see how that goes. Marvin Harrison Jr. continue his dominant run, 5 receptions, 126 yards, 1 touchdown. Cade Stover showed up, 5 catches, 90 yards. Emeka Ibuka, 4 catches, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Carnell Tate also had a touchdown. Our offensive line did their job. Defense is looking outstanding right now, but like I said, this upcoming week, this Saturday, big game at Notre Dame, hostile territory. We got the victory over Notre Dame last year, 21-10, so you know they want to get their get back. But overall, I am confident that Ohio State will go to Notre Dame, handle business. Got to put some respect on Notre Dame's name. So far this season, each game they have scored over 40 points. So they got a high-power offense. Their quarterback seem to be doing his job. Their running back is complimenting well also. So our defense got to be on pins and needles, pull back everything and just focus, lock in, create some turnovers, third down stops, fourth down stops. Overall, though, I am confident. I think Kyle McCord is going to put the nation on notice. I think Marvin Harrison and Ibuka are both going to have great games. Running backs, like I said, I would love for somebody to break for 120, 125, maybe Chip, because like I said, every time Chip come in the game, I am just more confident in his ability. So maybe Chip will break out. Maya Williams need to get some touches as well. Trevion Henderson, he is our go-to guy. I think in the red zone, he's going to really show up as well. But my main focus this Saturday against Notre Dame, defense, create some turnovers, get third down stops, fourth down stops, create some havoc in the backfield for Notre Dame quarterback and running backs. Kyle McCord, bright lights going at Notre Dame. I'm looking for him to be poised, confident. You got Marvin Harrison out there. You got Ibuka out there. And running backs, lend some help. Offensive line, protect well, block well. And I believe we'll be all right. Ryan Day, Heartline, this is the test in terms of play calling. This is the test. So, overall, I'm confident, but y'all know, 7 o'clock, 7:30 Saturday, 0 dark 30. I'm locked in, Ohio State versus Notre Dame. So, we'll see how it goes. And y'all know I'll come back next week, win or lose, and talk about it. So, that's that on that. Also, sticking with college football, the story of college football right now for me personally, Colorado, what they're doing, Coach Prime, Shadur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, that whole crew over there. Man, just what they building in Colorado of all places. And, man, I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning Eastern time, watching the Colorado versus Colorado State game Saturday. And I was just like, yo, outside of a national championship game, NBA Finals, or a playoff game, I haven't stayed up and watched shit. For one, I haven't stayed up on a Saturday like that in a minute. Nonetheless, watching a football game probably since Reggie Bush or something like that was at USC without no big, you know what I'm saying, like I said, a championship atmosphere or something like that, Super Bowl or something like that. So just watching the game, man, just seeing everything before the game. It was a mild, for me, y'all know, when I came here and talked about Colorado after the win against TCU, I was looking ahead to the the Oregon game and the USC game. I did not know the Colorado versus Colorado State game would be the one everybody was like, yo, this the one we watching all together or whatnot. Because during the week, the Colorado State coach made some statements that Deion took personal. And it's prime time, so you know Deion going to make a spectacle out of it. He's like, yo, he made it personal. He was talking about my mama. So College Game Day pulled up to Colorado. Fox Sports pulled up to Colorado. The Rock pulled up, and because The Rock pulled up, SmackDown was also in Colorado, so The Rock pulled up on SmackDown, and me as a wrestling fan, I was like, whoa, that just crazy how the economy of Colorado has changed with Deion. He had Lil Wayne perform 2 times at College Game Day and at the pregame. You got Master P, Key Glock, and Offset playing ping pong in the locker room. You got Kawhi Leonard, who may or may not even show up to his own basketball game. He's sidelined. You got Chauncey Billups, Kyle Lowry in the box in the suite and everything. Just the culture, man. If anything, you don't appreciate about Deion and Colorado, what they're building, at least appreciate the fact that people pulling up to the game to watch a man coach a team, a black man coach this team with his son playing quarterback and another son on the defensive side of the ball who had a pick 6 as well. If anything, I don't care if you don't appreciate the hype train going on, you don't like how he left Jackson State, at least appreciate the black man coaching the football team in Colorado. And I said it after week 1. Congratulations over criticism. It's like you go on a date with a girl and she complaining about the food, but yet she's still eating the food. You got people staying up 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning waiting on Coach Prime to lose. I can see it. I saw it on the timeline. I can see it. I was like, okay, they waiting. It was a close game. I was like, yeah, they waiting on Coach Prime to lose and be like, yeah, I told y'all so. Fam, it's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. If you're not a fan, cut the damn TV off and go to bed. Cut the TV off and go to bed. And granted, we love sports. I love sports. I do a podcast. Y'all know I wasn't the fondest of LeBron James. When he was in Miami, Big 3, come on, if you wasn't a Miami Heat fan, LeBron fan, you probably wasn't the biggest fan of that time period. But you got to admit, it was plays LeBron made, it was games LeBron had where I was watching, I was like, yeah, in the future, I'll be able to tell my kids I witnessed that when it happened. It's just some things we got to appreciate, man. And granted, it's been 3 games. Y'all know, I've been waiting on these 2 games. At Oregon, and against USC. I can only imagine how the sideline is about to be against USC at Colorado. If they was like this for Colorado State against USC, it's about to be fucking the red carpet. Double overtime victory against Colorado State, 43-35. Like I said, I stayed up and watched it. I got to give Colorado State some props as well. Both teams, like I said, the pregame was exciting. The beginning of the game was very, very chippy. I thought, because for me, I was watching the Tennessee-Florida game, and the way that game ended, like they were real deal squaring up. To flipping the channel and seeing Shedeur and Travis Hunter talking back with the Colorado State players and how chippy those first 2 quarters was, I was like, okay, this the feeling, like I was telling y'all, this the feeling that's been missing in college football for a very long time. In terms of teams, I don't think I've seen a team with this much braggadocious attitude since maybe the early 2000s Miami Hurricanes. And definitely, of course, I wasn't around, but those with Michael Irvin and all those guys back in the day at the U, that's what this kind of remind me of. Like, I go back and watch the U 30 for 30 a lot, part 1 and 2. And I was like, man, for the past few years, just been, SEC heavy. Ohio State, we've been around in the conversation. Clemson been around the conversation. But it hasn't been a college football team with this much culture. You know what I'm saying? You got players pulling up. And they did the same thing when Deion was at Jackson State. Gilly Wallow, Young Dolph, they did the same thing. So it's not like it's nothing brand new. Like I said, you don't got to be the biggest football fan. You don't got to be the biggest Deion fan. But you got to respect the fact, this man is doing this as a black man with his family by his side. That's all I'm saying. Shedeur Sanders, 38 for 47, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like I said, Shiloh, he had a pick 6. You gotta respect it, man. You gotta respect it. But I do gotta give some credit to Colorado State, they team and they head coach, because they made this game more entertaining than I thought it would be. I was like, okay, we understand the Colorado State head coach want to make some headlines before the game, because if he upset Deion, that'll put him on the map. But I figured Colorado would probably handle Colorado State pretty well, but turned out to be a great game, a classic, I'll say. Double overtime at Colorado with Offset on the sideline, with Master P on the sideline, with Key Glock, Kawhi Leonard. If it was like that for that, like I said, if it was like that for Colorado State, I wouldn't be surprised if people pull up for the Oregon game at Oregon, because I think that's going to be, it's at 3:30. That's going to be a big one. And definitely the game against USC with Caleb Williams on the other side, oh, man. That's going to get your popcorn ready for that one. I'm excited for the Oregon game, but I don't care if they win or lose against Oregon. That USC game is going to be star-studded. And I want to say Ohio State has a bye week that week as well, so you know what game I'll be waiting on. But, man, Coach Prime, keep doing what you're doing. And I don't see how people like surprised. Like, his name was Prime Time when he was a player. Have you not seen interviews of Deion Sanders back in the day, even before he was coaching at Colorado? Have you not seen? Are y'all not aware of who Deion Sanders is? He's been like that. He's walking around with a Jerry curl, shades on, gold chain. Like, that's been him. And to see this transition throughout the years, you got to salute it. I hope to see more of it. I hope to see more of it, man. Black coaches popping their shit on the sideline, whether it's football, basketball, whatever. Like I said, with Coco playing tennis. I love to see our people succeed, man. I love us. That's all I'm asking. You can hate. Well, just admit you hate. Anytime you start a post or a tweet saying, I don't want to sound like a hater, but, fam, 10 times out of 10, you're going to sound like a hater. Trust me, as sports fans, like I said, man, sports fans, sometimes we just got to shut up and just, hey, man, if the team winning, the team winning. That's all I'm saying about that. Also, last thing with college football, Alabama fans. Alabama fans, for the first time, I ain't going to say for the first time, but it's more apparent now y'all got a quarterback issue. I think y'all got a team issue. Yeah, forget quarterback issue. Alabama, y'all got a team issue right now. Against South Florida? Come on now. Come on. And y'all know I stay in the heart of SEC country. I'm surrounded by y'all motherfuckers. I'm surrounded by Alabama fans. I'm surrounded by Florida, Georgia, Auburn. I'm surrounded by y'all. Alabama, Georgia too. I seen some of my people on the timeline, Georgia fans, biting their nails as well against South Carolina. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, college football off to a great start. Headline at the headline, whether you want to look at my Buckeyes, whether you want to look at the SEC, Colorado, whatever the case may be. I'm excited about it. NFL started back as well. I'll probably touch on NFL next week. But overall, college football was a great, great weekend. Now, jumping into new music, coming off of last week's episode, Diddy, the Love album off the grid drop, 23 tracks, over an hour and 20 worth of music. But, man, he delivered. Y'all know I don't really care for the long albums like that, but for one, 23 songs, but he did have like an intermission break. Like, I just pressed play. In the morning, going to work, at work, I just pressed play. And it got to the point where he was like, on the skit, he was like, yo, this the intermission. So I saw it, and I was like, intermission? So I went to see how many songs were left. I was like on track 10 or 11. So I was like, all right, I listened to half early, then I jumped back in later on off about 2 Coronas and 2 shots of 1942 later, I jumped back into the album. But overall, this album delivered. As soon as you press play, you was locked in. It wasn't no fill-out process. Wasn't no, by the time I got to track 5, 6, or 7, it wasn't none of that. Instantly, I was locked in. First thing I'll say, the feel, like the albums that we know of now, for the majority, I'll say, 2-minute songs, maybe 2-minute songs. So just to see I ain't gonna say the top of R&B, but to have some of the heavy hitters of today's R&B featured on songs together, sequencing very well, going into the next track, everything just sounded so concise. I got to give Diddy some credit. And like I was telling people, because people was texting me on Friday like I work for the man or something like that. It's like, yo, I see you talk about the Diddy album. I'm checking it out now. I like what I'm hearing. I was like, y'all got to realize, man, no matter how you feel about how he do business or the rumors you heard about him throughout the years, when it comes to R&B, Diddy do his thing now. Like I said last week, Faith Evans, 112, Carl Thomas, Total. You know what I'm saying? Diddy is Diddy in the R&B world. Dirty Money, I Need a Girl. Like, you got to give a man credit where credit is due. So, shout out to Diddy. The Love album, Off the Grid. If you haven't, check it out. Like I said, 23 songs, but he does give you a heads up. Hey, this the intermission. So, if you want to take a break right now, take a break, tap in later on. And that's what I did. But my favorite tracks over the weekend, first few listens, was Love with Nova Wave. One of my favorite songs, Homecoming, featuring Jazzy. Tough Love, Sway Lee. Summer Walker, Stay Long. Man, Summer Walker can make some great-ass music. Her personal life, kind of, it is what it is. But when it comes to getting in that studio and making a record, Summer Walker would deliver. So the Stay Long record with Summer Walker. Justin Bieber Moments, that's probably my favorite. At first, it was Homecoming, Jazzy. Then I got to the Summer Walker record. I said, okay, this is probably my favorite. But this Justin Bieber song, Moments, and it kind of reminds me of like Justin Bieber, because I ain't going to act like I'm up on Justin Bieber music because I'm not. But if I can give y'all 2 features where I was like, Justin Bieber, he can, no matter, like I said, once again, no matter how you feel about him personally, no matter the videos you saw him when he was a kid, whatever, when he jump into that booth, he can give you some shit. So the 2 songs I was thinking about with this record was the song with Chance the Rapper, Coloring Book, Juke Jam, and the record he had on Rodeo with Travis Scott and Young Thug. Those 2 songs combined is what made me be like, okay, I see he got it in him. But this Moments record, Justin Bieber, probably my favorite on the album. Need Somebody, Jasmine Sullivan, and the Mind Your Business record with Ty Dolla $ign and Kehlani. But overall, man, Diddy, he delivered. So I got to give a shout out to Diddy. So if you haven't, check out the Love album, Off the Grid. Next up in music as well, Nas and Hit Boy, Magic 3, 15 tracks. This is, as they both said, the last Nas and Hit Boy collab album. 6 projects in 3 years. I've talked about them numerous times on the podcast throughout that time period. Not much for me to really say about this project except job well done. Job well done, a tremendous run by the both of them. And who knows, maybe this is not the last collab because Nas said it on about 2-3 tracks on this project. Yo, me and Hit still got some shit in the vault if y'all want it. So I doubt this the last, but King Disease, Magic Series, 3 of each. Maybe in the next 2 weeks, I'll do some type of ranking, not on the projects, but maybe, because I don't want to do, what's my favorite projects from them. I might do, like, my favorite beats from the 6 projects, Hit Boy production. Because like I said, within these 6 projects now, Hit Boy just showed how versatile he is as a producer. Like, all of them, none of the projects sounded like the projects itself don't sound alike. So he just so versatile. So I think that's what I'm going to do within the next couple of weeks. Just rank my favorite, probably my top, out of 6 projects, probably do like a top 10, my favorite beats that Hit Boy has done with these projects. But it made me think, if this is the last Nas and Hit Boy collab, where should both of them go in terms of music, in my opinion? Who should they collab with next? So first, with Hit Boy. We already know Hit Boy and Benny. That's supposed to come out August, I thought. Damn, Benny, what happened? I just thought about that. Benny and Hit Boy supposed to came out in August. But anyway, we got Benny. Benny and Hit Boy got a project coming out. I seen video of Bodie James in the studio with Hit Boy, so they might got some shit coming. Y'all know I'm always, whenever Bodie James decide to release anything, I'm rocking with it. I would like to see Wayne coming off this record on this project, Nas featuring Wayne. I would like to see Wayne lock in with Hit Boy for a project. I would like to see that. I think Dave East should lock in with Hit Boy. And this might be a long shot, but I saw an interview with Hit Boy. He said, yo, me and K-Dot made some shit together that, went crazy, but we never locked back in again. Then I saw a video from Nas' 50th birthday party. Kendrick had pulled up, and him and Hit Boy was talking. So I would like to see Kendrick Lamar lock in with Hit Boy as well. I would like to see that. So for Hit Boy, in terms of this, Benny, Bodie James, Wayne, Dave East, and Kendrick Lamar. Now, in terms of Nas, whose legacy, both legacies have been cemented, but Nas could not make another song and he'll be all right. But Nas just, apparently, he is still very good at rapping and he still has a passion for it. So moving forward, Nas, I like to see him link back up with DJ Premier. Nas and Premier need to link back up. I would like to see Nas and Madlib link up. Of course, coming from Madlib, I would like to see Nas and Alchemist link up. And I would like to see Nas get back with Trap Masters. Now, if you don't know who Trap Masters is, do your research, but long story less long, Trap Masters is the Nas It Was Written album. That's Trap Masters and Nas. And that's a very good project, an album, I'll say, 'cause that came out in 96, I believe. Yeah, that's an album. That ain't no project, that's an album. It Was Written. So I like to see Nas link back up with Trap Masters. But overall, Magic 3, some of my favorite records. The second track, Tisk. Second record, Tisk, that production is some October Halloween type sound of shit. Hit Boy went crazy on that. And I saw on Instagram, Hit Boy said he did that beat like a day or two before the album was turned in. So that Tisk record is crazy. Never Die featuring Lil Wayne. That goes back to what I was saying. I like to see Lil Wayne link up with Hit Boy. Based on True Events Part 2, Jodeci member, and the last record on this project, 1-800 Nas and Hit. That was like the send-off record, like, yo, we did this, 6 albums, 3 years. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Me personally, I've enjoyed them. The King Disease, the Magics, I've enjoyed them. Like I said, during this podcast, I've been talking about each of them. So if you haven't, check out this project, Magic 3. If you haven't tapped in to the 6 albums Nas and Hit Boy has done, tap into those. You will not be disappointed. Also in new music, Rod Wave dropped the project Nostalgia. That's your vibe. Check that out. Also R&B world, Cleo Soul dropped Heaven. I'll probably check that out later on tonight. Honestly, I need to hear what Cleo Soul got to say. So for me, new music, what I was tuned into project-wise, Diddy, Love album, Off the Grid, 23 records, delivered. Nas and Hit Boy, Magic 3, delivered. And like I said, Rod Wave dropped, Cleo Soul dropped. And my plan was to come in here, talk about this Drake song, then talk about my expectations for the Drake album. But like all of us, I woke up Saturday to see Drake posted. He pushed the album back to October the 6th. And the reasoning for it was kind of weird to me. He was saying, yo, the dilemma I got right now, either I cancel the rest of my tour dates to finish this album, or I give the fans what they want and then lock back into the album, so I got to push the album back. Basically, he's saying he want to finish the tour, push the album back, right? But my thing is, fam, everybody in the world know you on tour right now. When you announced the date of the album, I was like, oh, wow, Drake dropping the album while on tour. Because normally for me, I'm just thinking just as a consumer, normally for me, when I'm thinking of tours and albums, either artists drop an album, then go on tour off of that album. If they're going to drop on tour, they're saying, okay, I'm going to drop on tour. And for Drake, I think his tour is ending sometime in October. He's going to drop the last few weeks of the tour. From that, he might go overseas and tour for the new album, and then he's going to double back to United States and tour off of that album again. But, I mean, who want to do that much damn touring? That's a lot of touring to do. That's like, what, maybe a year, 6 months, something like that? Or you just wait till you off tour and be like, yo, I'm off tour. Either I'm about to lock into the album, I'm about to put the finishing touches on my album, then whoop-de-whoop. The only reason I'm saying this because it's like, fam, like, you Drake, you don't need to do this like, I'm pushing my album. Like, granted, he pushed albums back before, but I'm like, fam, just drop the damn album. Basically, that's all I'm saying. Like, drop the damn album, bro. I feel like you at that point now where if you drop an album, yeah, you might have some pushback, but for the majority of people, we've seen throughout the years, the majority of people are going to like your album. Maybe not the hip-hop purists or nothing like that, but you got the fan base to where you can probably block out outside noise. So it was kind of weird to me, his reasoning for it, but I'm like, fam, do you want to tour off the new album or not? Because I think for the most part, this tour he on now with 21 Savage, he doing a little bit of the collab with 21, but a majority of Drake's set is just like some of his greatest hits type of thing. Like, he got like a lot of shit to perform. Some days he'll do one song he don't do in another city. Like, he got like a lot of songs to perform, so he's not really touring off a certain album with this tour. So the reason for me was just kind of weird because I'm like, fam, we know you on tour. When you announced it, we was like, oh, he's dropping while on tour. So if you need to finish it up, but from this SZA song, for this to be the first, it is the first SZA and Drake collab, right? For this to be the first SZA Drake collab, and I feel like a lot of us just feel like we probably didn't get one before because Drake and Kendrick might have had a little, you know what I'm saying, something going on. But for it to be the first SZA and Drake song, I was a little bit underwhelmed. For me personally, if I see Drake featuring insert woman name here, my instant thought is, okay, the bar is, what's up? Been a minute since we kicked it, you've been caught up. That's the bar, the song with Janae from Nothing Was the Same. That's the bar. So anything Drake does with a woman needs to come close to that. Like, I don't even like the Take Care song with Rihanna like that. So it is what it is. But I feel like, for one, Drake says, I think this has been a perfect time for it to be structured as, okay, Drake gonna do his rapping, let SZA sing on the hook type of thing. I would have loved that instead of what we got. Honestly, it's like one of those songs like you hear more of, you listen to more of the toxic lyrics of what Drake's saying about women or what SZA saying about men compared to the overall way. Is the song good or not? Like, I'm sure Drake's saying some crazy shit. I'm sure SZA saying some crazy shit. They both great artists, but production-wise, Drake singing, I'm like, fam, Drake, you can sing. Stop all this crooning shit. Like, you can sing very good. So, overall, it was just a little bit underwhelming for me. Didn't make me more excited about the album, but I was like, fam, just drop the album. Just drop the album. And what I'm hearing about the album, they was like, yo, it's possibly a Yeet feature. And I'm like, Drake and Yeet. Okay. Yeah, I was like, okay. If that's the route you want to go, that's the route you want to go. But we'll see. We'll see. October 6th. And I think there was like this Drake first album dropping in October because his whole thing is October very own. So it was just odd. It was odd, and going back to the SZA record, it was kind of tough to listen to coming off the Diddy album. That's why I'm saying I wish it was structured different, because if Drake is rapping and SZA singing, it's cool. But if y'all doing like a full kind of R&B sounding song, it's hard for me to go from that Diddy album and then going to tap into this Drake and SZA song. Like, okay, it's two totally different R&Bs. It goes back to what I was saying, the toxic R&B versus just the regular nostalgic R&B feel that I personally enjoy nowadays. So it is what it is. Drake, just drop the album, dog. Just drop it. I don't care if you're on tour, you're off tour, it doesn't matter. Just drop the album, man. We've been waiting long enough. But I've been waiting long enough for a Shake Back Drake album. I'll say that. I didn't like Her Loss. I didn't like Honestly Nevermind. CLB was cool enough. So this has been episode 226, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week, great school week, stay safe, stay hydrated. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.